Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Hello and welcome to Or Plus. It's the final day of September. Welcome to September 30th. Welcome. Couple things. One, it's the final day. Let's make it count. Um, Secondly, I announced last Friday over the very short stream a major change that would take place, and I wasn't kidding. Today's the make or break day. Either I make so much as to pass this account, or it just doesn't work, and yeah, I have to start all over. But this time I have to go and get a 9 to 5 and have much less time to do things that I'd like to do, right? Regardless, we're gonna do our best today. I was right to take my final take profit up here. As you can see by the bars, we reached up here, rejected price, and then we decided to crash. We'd have been stopped out had I chose not to get out right here. Literally the last opportunity we had to get out before we just took a plunge. So, lucky me. We held on for a little too long. No biggie there. Let's go take a look at our daily. Let's erase this stuff. Daily says we are in an uptrend. Price did not reach as low as this right here. It might continue to do so. However, I'm looking at the uptrend mini retrace here. It could target here. It could target here. I'm inclined to think it's actually going to continue higher though. I'm inclined to. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Okay, a little bit more to work with on the 4 hour. Have we broke structure? No, on the 4 hour. At least not yet. We are in an uptrend. Broke structure here, order block there. Let's actually go ahead and mark that. We had breaker block there, draw on liquidity. We have fair value up here, price could target on the 4 hour. Price did come down into imbalance and has since respected it. If it continues lower, that's going to kind of suck just a little bit, but we'll see what happens. A little bit more of a detail on the hour. We have a draw on liquidity for. Let's go ahead and actually, because now that we're on the hour, 18. Bring this over here. 3. Pre-market. 30. 9:30. 10:30. Let's go down to our 10 minutes. Good there. Oh, hello. Looks like we may have actually broke structure there. Let's get back up to the hour real quick, though. Just real quick. So the high for Asian session was up here. The low down here. Cool. And we're going to bring this back up. Highest point in London session right there. There's our range. We haven't disrespected that. There's that there. We broke structure here, making this whole move from the low to the high and order block. Price could target. That's a pretty dang big range. Pretty big. It also left a massive fair value gap that it could target within. Let's go ahead and actually do this. So there's that there, and then right there, just give some separation to that level there. And realistically speaking, because I'm pretty sure, ooh, hello. So not relative all-time high at the same time. We might actually see it continue down based on this break of structure right here. We have this high it could target, and then we have these highs over here that it could target. These are still relative equal highs, but this is our, like these three right here are our range, but it could target anything within this and just continue much higher if it wanted to. After it seeks out whatever imbalance is trying to on the flip side within this right here, which I imagine could be this or this, but we won't know until it happens. Also, there's this imbalance right here that I could get, and this is relative like to the trend, right? Don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. We can mark it though. We can mark it. I know there are a ton. There's like 4 lows within this right here on the lower time frame outside of this right here. And I'm pretty sure this actually swept past most of them because it cleared the fair value gap right here that I know of. So this right here is the last low outside of these two. And this one here that it could target. I will say though that this is an extreme. I will say that this might be an area it might test. I mean, it is double. It's a double low. Yeah. Break of structure, order block there. Price is already retested, closed, disrespected, and just continued up anyway. It could come down and target this area here before anything else. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Kind of. It is a valid area to test because it did disrespect this order block first. But it didn't continue lower like it was supposed to. Instead, it continued much, much higher. We broke structure again. Right there on the upside. Giving us that order block range. The scary thing about today, I'm looking at a consolidation pattern. If that makes sense to you guys, here, take a look. So we broke structure here, right? We have an order block here. But then if you continue on, boom, we broke structure above this high here. This technically says we're now on an uptrend. Order block, right? Well, we keep going, boom, break structure below a low. See what's occurring? We've broken structure now about 4 times in the span of a day. I don't know what exactly is going on with market. This is also NASDAQ, so I mean it could just be because NASDAQ is NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P and see if we can find anything that's a little more reasonable, because this line of just break, right, is just a little too volatile. Just a little bit. So we did not get a range there. This is all from yesterday. Looks like it could target this right here, manipulate this low, and then just bounce up. We'll be taking a look at that right there, though. Let's go ahead and erase everything, get our time frame set up. 18, 3, 8. So it's about 30 minutes. 9:30, 10:30, 10 minutes, 9:50, 10:10. Cool. It'll take the hour. Do the same thing we did the other way around. We'll go for the lowest low. Boom. Highest high in Asian session, and then highest point, and here's our default range. Here's the low outside of session. Here's the high outside of session. General range, we've been sitting on the low end. We could see it dip down and retest this area here and then move to the flip side. I do imagine shorts are going to be a possibility today. Broke structure here, order block there. I like how this is a little bit more refined, because if we do this right here, we can see a little bit better. No break, no break, no break, no break. Very close, but no break, no break, no break. Continuation, fair value gap. Move down, move down, move down, move down, move down. Potential continuation there. We are in a downtrend on the hour for this. Let's go ahead and mark this fair value gap real quick. There's our fair value gap just underneath this low. Let's go ahead and mark this low here. Cool. I have no problem marking this low here. I have no problem marking this low here. Hello, alternating stuffs here. Alternating lows for NASDAQ and S&P over there. Same story here. There's only one, unlike S&P. There's 2 right there to really take care of. And I don't mind going down here, because they pretty much copied each other when they came down this far to collect this. They did not reach quite this far, but they did retest the fair value gap equally. They just created alternating lows, which ultimately resulted in this uptrend that we had. And then from there, we consolidated, tapered off, and then consolidated a little bit. S&P is painting a little bit more of a clear picture. It looks like we are going to be retesting a previous area of imbalance. through the low first, and then we might boomerang from there higher. But we could also see a massive surge down, and it solely depends on what market open and news have to say. It could mean that due to the general trend being up, and we can actually look at this real quick. Let's take a look at the day. We're in an uptrend. We haven't broke structure yet, but I'm looking at a serious move down, and it having created a lower high. We could see it reverse on the daily. 4 hour, little bit of a clearer picture. We have a break of structure here, an order block here, which fills sort of this range almost nicely. Almost. We're gonna mark that zone just to have a little fun. Okay. Order block there could come down to retest. Fairly simple. We had a retest anyway from this one candle here. Breaker block, that's what continued us higher without leaving a fair value gap. We have fair value gap here. We are currently within that imbalance, and it has inverted that fair value gap. So we've actually lesser end of a break of structure. It is a reversal sign to have an inverse fair value gap, and we did get that. So we could, this isn't a downtrend. I'm going to go ahead and just on the 4 hour, right? Due to that inverse and fair value gap, we are on the decline. 1 hour, we've already marked out all of this. You can clearly see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, as well as the order block there on the higher time frame, fair value gap, low, low, and then default range here. Let's go to 30-minute real quick. Well, there's a low right there we could hit. Although this is right here a fair value gap on the higher time frame, so I'm not really inclined to take that low into consideration. Just because if it does wind up coming back down, I know after a break of structure, we broke structure a second time, leaving a fair value gap literally, or not fair value gap, an order block right here, smack dab in the center of both these ranges. So it could come down, retest this, bounce up, but because we have another order block here, another order block here, cascading on the time frames, we could see it manipulate past all of this, potentially hitting these key levels here, and then from that bouncing up higher. We actually could see that, because they just list themselves out all the way down, and there's no, this is a fair value gap, I think. No, this is just the low outside of session on the hour that we've marked. This range right here, two areas of liquidity, one inside, one outside. We've consolidated within this range here. We've settled within a fair value gap on the higher time frame, and based on current range, seeing as we're on the low end, we could see it come down. I'm inclined to think it might actually come down as far as this right here, and then shoot back up. Either that or come down, consolidate, and then shoot back up. The sketchy part, the concern I have, is this huge gap in between. That's what I'm thinking is a problem. I think because this huge gap is a thing and we have more highs up through here, right? A lot more, like we could even go all the way up into this right here, all the way up here if we wanted to. It's equally as imbalanced between here and here. Sorry, I'm wrong. I have to scroll down to see that. This is the lesser imbalance compared to this. These are areas that we could test, sure. But ultimately, the overarching trend of the S&P 500 is up. We are going in the up direction. We're in a downtrend, sure, but ultimately it's to retest one of these areas and then bounce right off, which makes for a problematic situation because we could see that retest. But if the assumption is that price is just going to continue lower, hitting these liquidity sweeps, potentially even the previous one way over there, the question is, where is it going to stop and then continue up from there, right? I'm going to digress. I'm going to stop what I'm doing now. I'm just going to focus on the direction of price. And we might actually take 2 trades today, just to really put the final nail in the coffin for the month of September. Because we have managed to get this far. And I will say, because I think it's the platform that changed it, we are no longer trading ES1 exclamation, the futures, the mini futures. It flipped us to the indices. Not my decision. It was this platform's decision. This kind of hurts to look at. So, as you can see here, we were trading the mini futures. Now we're not, which is, in my opinion, stupid. Because they threw me off of my whole game. But yeah. We have 621 here. This right here and this right here hurt to look at. Because this now tells me I have to get so much more. Because the indexes charge a fee every time you trade. And based on what you take out. We have a little bit to come back from. It is currently 8:25. I'm looking at both real quick. So a little bit of S&T divergence right here. We had relative equal lows on like NASDAQ, creating a higher low. Take a look at our notes. Lower low, but the other fails to do so. This sign of relative strength in second. Cool. Bullish reversal. Bull run in the low. So we could be seeing it go down, but it's, again, the first person that breaks this range. A bullish reversal. I think what it might do is it might come up and then break and then bullish reversal on down. Following the rules of yesterday's trade, we spotted similar to the same thing, I think. We saw the difference in lows right here. This is not yesterday. This is yesterday up here. What do I think is happening right now? Because I'm looking at the MACD, right? MACD says we're on low volume and there is about to be flip in the price direction, right? If that were the case, we'd see it flip and then just continue up higher. But that would mean it would need to test exactly where it would need to test a previous range of balance, it seems, and it could be up here. It could just be this very, very close relative high area. Could wick up within, close like within or below, and then just rally back down. High time frame, we have order block here. Let's actually narrow this down because this was the break structure here. This broke structure above this high, making this the order block, this candle. Because this is the order block, it could wick within, or it's got to close within this, and it could drop lower. We have fair value gap that it could retest. We have that high right there it could retest. The only other high that we have is up there. And yeah, that's a distance for one imbalance. I said one imbalance. For one fair value gap, one order block, and then just a high from that, right? I think I'm correct in saying that price might come up to here, retest, close, and then drop further. I think that's an accurate statement. We're at 8:30. We have 30 minutes till market. No, we have an hour until market open. My mistake. We have 1 hour until market open. Let's take a look at news real quick, see what's going on there. So we have one red, two orange, two folders are hitting at 10, the other at 11. President Trump speaks at 11. Let's go ahead and break open a laptop real quick. I'm going to pull up a YouTube video, my previous YouTube video, and I'm going to take up the description and just read it real quick to really gauge what I did to get that for the S&T to work for me in my favor. I see the range. I see we're consolidating. This right here is an imbalance just because there's little red in it. And we've literally just sat here for a minute. The question is which direction it'll go first. I think it'll continue higher first and then drop immediately after. From there, it'll just continue. We could see it retest this and bounce, or if it's not too an extreme on the upside, we could see it come all the way down here, retest, bounce. Fair value gap here. Thing is, S&P's not S&P. NASDAQ's giving us more confluences to work with. We have order block, order block, order block. We have the fair value gap here. We have the low here. We have fair value gap here. I mean, it's giving us more to work with. We could manipulate this and then drop. We could manipulate this and fly. One of the two. S&P's not giving us much, though. S&P is saying we're in a downtrend all the way for the hour, but we don't have a fair value gap to retest. Instead, we have retested it and we've consolidated on the flip side. We might continue lower. Okay. What about the high? Is there anything up high we can manipulate? Because we broke structure here. We left an order block here. There is an order block right here that has not been retested. Okay. We could hit that. That's a potential. Aside from that, we have a fair value gap up here. That's, yeah, it's given us this fair value gap. Way over there that we could target. Cool. We also have this order block that we could hunt down right here. That is a long shot, though. Honestly. We have two order blocks, one fair value gap, two highs. and the top half of another fair value gap to be retested within this, and then for it to drop. And those are closer. They are, in fact, closer than this stuff is down here. So, conflicting charts. We could see one go higher, one go lower. And that's what that S&T is essentially telling me on that hour time frame. So, I was about to say, what in the world? Why is my mouse not working? There you go. So, that's kind of what I thought had happened yesterday. So yesterday we got an SMT, then waited for one of the charts to break range, and got an unexpected lineup on the corresponding chart. One of them ran, and the other stayed. But we traded the stronger of the two charts. We traded on the NASDAQ yesterday. NASDAQ yesterday? Yeah, we traded on the NASDAQ yesterday. And we got the move up before it reversed back down. We caught from this low to this high before it broke and then consolidated. And then from that, we had this whole move down on the S&P, but much sooner. It just kept running down instead of giving us an up, so we took a trade on the NASDAQ instead. From the S&P indicating a bearish reversal. So it was a bearish reversal that we got on the S&T. I waited for Confluence to further. Why does Discord? I'm about to disable Discord on my laptop. Waited for the next Confluence further solidify my entry. The NASDAQ then decided to break structure after market open, and the S&P was confirmed on the S&P 500. I then took the confluence of NASDAQ presenting a NASDAQ presented, and I waited for the remaining confluences to form. Eventually, I got to see a fair value gap on the 5 minute, then immediately after break of structure on the 1 minute. The trade yield was correct, but unexpected, making it more risky than what I wanted. De-risking should have been at play, but I was confident up to the point. Also, I entered after the imbalance had pretty much ended, which wasn't what I was supposed to do, but there were no other confluence suggesting the price would have gone in the direction needed in the end. Ultimately, it was a trade with poor risk-reward ratio and high risk due to it being NASDAQ and a lack of confluences on the weaker chart after the S&T was identified. It was still a winning trade, but it wasn't the best trade I could have taken yesterday. Hopefully, we have a little bit more confluences today. Hopefully, we have a little bit more today than we did yesterday, though. Similar situation. We are looking at a bullish divergence, not a bearish divergence. We're looking for a bullish reversal. So, what's bullish reversal? Break of structure to the high side based on the S&T. We could see it continue higher. What would lead in this case? The first one to break structure and continue higher. Now, we could see it just rip beyond those highs there. Based on S&T, it looks like we are going to get that. It's just going to continue on higher. Which one's looks like it's the stronger? It looks like both have manipulated the high roughly at the same time. This is pre-market. We have the hour before. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's see what's happening. We're on the 5 minute for both. It looks like we have a little bit of stronger reaction on the S&P. The reason I say that is because we broke past this high and this high and this high, and it's reaching higher. Same story there. We broke structure. We have fair value gap. We could honestly just see it keep climbing. Here's our imbalance on the 5 minute. We have another imbalance here. Order block on the higher time frame. Massive fair value gap on the 5 minute. I believe this is the top half of that fair value gap on the higher time frame. And then we have this high way up here. What does this mean? What do we think is going to happen here? Because I remember yesterday saying we could take a trade based on pre-market in the factor, right? Instead of market open. My biggest concern is a reversal to the flip side, knowing what happened yesterday was a move like this, and then immediately after, a huge crash. We moved up, but it was only after the move up that price said, you know what, I'm going to start dipping. And it dipped big time on down. That was the bearish reversal. That was on a bearish reversal S&T. We're looking for a bullish reversal on an S&T. So market open could come as low as this, break temporarily, and then rip even higher. How much lower? Maybe into this. Point is, we should see a move down before we see a move up. That would confirm that, I think. Take a look. Moves, the patterns are the same for the most part. Same direction lows. So it's not from there to there. That's even steeper. So I'm wrong about the S&T. What we did, we just broke structure right there. That's all that happened. if we treated it just like that, a break of structure. For value gap, cool. This technically had all of our confluences ready to go. Retest of for value gap within that range. This is a massive imbalance within this, by the way. Let me go back up to the 30 minutes, see if I can encompass that. Yeah, I can. Okay, so we had a huge fair value gap right here. Not that I didn't. No, I definitely forgot to mark this. So we have fair value gap within that. We had break of structure here, so order block there. That starts here. Boom, boom. That's our order block. We're gonna put the whole range here. Cool. That's a massive range to retest and then dip off of. That being a stacked for value gap in this, I think we're gonna see a drop. And I think I was right from this low right here up to here. I'm wrong. Never mind. I keep wanting to see an SMT where there isn't one. I am wrong. I'm accepting it. Moving on. Golly. I need to stop that. Let's see if NASDAQ's presenting the same thing. We had a fair value gap here, and it's not respecting it. Unlike the S&P. NASDAQ is full on reversed it. However, we still have order block to look at right here. And we are going to be marking that whole range as well. Let's go ahead and solve this. Boom. We have 15 roughly minutes for this candle to close. S&P looks like it is going to respect it. I said that and it met the top of it, of course. Well, we know this high is out. We know that this is now a thing. No, still retesting that. Prices almost come to a complete stall on the S&P. This is encompassing the whole range. High and low outside, low inside, highs inside. Massive order block within, fair value gap within. Break of structure. We have another order block here. We could take a look at if we really wanted to. I'm inclined to think price is going to retest this and drop lower just because we broke structure off a consolidation or breakout. But I'm also thinking it's a fake signal because if we zoom in on this, go all the way down here, We can see the move up above this, but it's not breaking past this high. Instead, what I think is happening is volumes building up to test this order block and the fair value gap. We'll see potential market open or literally the very next candle, hard to say, come down and break past this, making this the false signal, and then a complete bear run, and it just crashed through all of this. Because this is a breakout from this consolidation pattern. Go to the 5-minute real quick. Price is above this, so we could see it continue higher. So this isn't a false signal. We really could see it just keep going up. And so far, 11 minutes in, we have that right there. That is currently disrespecting the order block. On the 30-minute, we have another order block right there. Did I mark the hour on that? I did not. I marked the same order block on the 30-minute. It's the higher time frame it's running with. Going all the way up to that. Same story here. We have order block, that range. Boom. That gives us a little bit more wiggle room on the higher time frame. It holds higher power, so we're going to work with that. This is our order block right here, though. Order blocks a sign of continuation based on a break of structure. We have break of structure. We could see a disrespect, but at the same time, I think we're going to get a breaker block on one of these, and that's going to be the difference between the S&T. On the higher time frame, we're going to see a high made on that, unlike the S&P. S&P is going to create a lower high. Let's take a look at what that means. Obviously, not a bearish reversal per the S&T, but okay, fails to lower high. Okay, so if A is higher, that means Nasdaq's higher, S&P's lower, and then we should see signal that buying momentum is weakening, suggesting bearish reversal or sign. Okay, cool. It'll be on the first one to make the reversal down low for the bear run. So as an A for making the lower low, I might trade that in a bullish S&T. A bearish S&T is based on asset A. It did not make a higher high. So it'd be B. S&Ts are very, very confusing. So This is just to help me with. This is to help me with understanding which one's which. Both are asset B because it breaks through a range, right? So for on a bullish, the one that did not make a lower low, I might trade because it's the weaker of the two, right? So in this case, it'd be asset B in a bullish. And then the weaker asset in bearish S&T would also be B, the one that did not make a higher high, the one that made the lower high. Okay? Following the logic of this, based on what to look for, and then whatever presents itself on the chart. So whoever makes the lower low, whoever makes the higher high is the leading. And I trade the opposite because the indication is that price is going to reverse in that direction from asset A. And because B lags behind, it gives us the drop on it, I guess you could say. All it would take is us following that until a break of structure, and it would allow us to enter at a much more appreciated price. Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I have clarified a little bit on this SMTs. You have 30 minutes till market open. I wonder if NASDAQ's giving anything. So far, it's respecting the order block on the hour. No S&T as of late. We just got a break of structure out of that. I'm going to say it's not a breakout. I'm just going to say it's still consolidating. The reason I say is because breakout would mean is going beyond the range of the high and low within the consolidation. So far, we've marked that. It's this right here, the high outside of session and the low inside of session. That gives us the range of the consolidation. Breakout means it not only goes beyond these highs right here, but it just keeps soaring, or if it breaks below the low and just keeps falling. We're on low volume mode ish. The hour is indicating that price is going to be moving in the up direction, and I'm inclined to believe it. I'm inclined to at the moment, just a smooth at the moment. Same story here. I think it's going to wait for news and market open to really start kicking into high gear. And we could, in the next minute, see a complete shift and it just sit within its range, continuing the consolidation, leaving a big old wick in its place. Which I'm not going to say is a breaker block move because it would need to close within this in order for it to be a breaker block. I don't know. We'll see. So we got the close. Moment of truth. I think it'll be this candle that reverses to the downside. It's currently 9. Not market open. Still pre-market. But if we see that reversal back down and it disrespects this low right here, that means this is a valid breaker block on the higher time frame. We'll see it continue moving lower beyond. How much lower? Hard to say. Again, S&P is giving us the ladder of the confluences that could hit within this. Same story with NASDAQ, except NASDAQ isn't giving us. Like, I could mark this low outside, right? And it would. I wouldn't say it's going to be closely matching, but at the same time, it's a bigger gap. Much larger gap compared to before. I think I want to trade the S&P just because it's giving us a better picture. Here's the move down there. Let's see what NASDAQ's doing. NASDAQ's breaking below that, so this might be a valid breaker block based on this order block, high time frame confluence. So I don't want to enter yet. I would very, very much like to see what price does market open, because I'm looking at low volume on the higher time frame. It holds higher power, so we could see it completely reverse and then just keep moving higher. 4 hours in line with it moving higher as well, because we haven't broke structure on the downside yet. We have respected this fair value gap. We've inverted the fair value gap. This low doesn't really hit anything until we get to the hour, and it's this low that retests, I'm guessing, this order block here, because we break structure on that there. I didn't think about that. This retest this. Breaker block, move higher, break of structure, order block. Because at this, well, no, because we're in an uptrend right here. So this would not be an order block. This would just be a mini retrace, a resistance level. I think we're going to see price continue higher because of this right here being a thing on both charts. I think we're going to see price just continue higher. Because that is a level where price has come down to and consolidated at. 3 weeks rejecting a price range, move higher. Wow. Now there's an SMT. Am I wrong again? Yes. Yes, I am wrong. Yes and no. Both retested the same range of breaker block, order block, gist, right? They both respected it and they both come back down. However, based on order block, the high is different. Okay? The high within order block is here. The high is outside of the order block there. You see it, I see it, we see it. It's above it. Okay? I'm looking at that going, there's a difference. It's a little bit of a difference, actually. The one that creates the higher high isn't the one we'd be trading. Instead, it'd be the one that created the lower high. Why? Because that would mean we're in a a bullish divergence. Which means we could see it come back down, retest this order block here. If it respects and then continues higher, we know it's going to break past this range, potentially keep going. So my thought process is when it retests this, chances are it could come down into this, wick in to, close within, and then move beyond. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. That's a fair value gap on the 4 hour. Is that fair value gap present on the 4 for the S&P? It is, but we've already gone within. That's why I didn't mark it. It's being tested now. Is it doing the same thing here? It has been tested and respected, so we should see it continue higher based on that. We didn't break structure on the 4 hour. We're still in an uptrend. The hour is the one in question, and based on the 4 hour holding higher power, it being a respected fair value gap and all, we should see it continue much higher based on that alone. Uptrend is there. How high will it go? We can put our stop loss, our take profit at the highest high that we have recorded, but I'm not going to push past. And my stop loss is going to be fairly close to that low just before that break of structure. 7 minutes till market open. Let's see what happens. All that news, 2 news starts at 10, and then the other one's at 11. This is going to be a long recording, and it's completely intentional. It says actual grade forecast good for currency. Forecast is greater than previous, so we could see it continue higher based on previous datas. It's actually gone lower the past couple of times it's been present. So we could see it continue lower. However, on the flip side, CB consumer confidence greater than forecasted good for currency. Previous has been there, higher than the forecast. Forecast says lower sometimes, and then the actuals still wind up greater. That's the majority of the time. Similar situation still occurring. 97.4 was previous. We have a forecast of 96. We could see it continue higher. And then at 11, we don't really care about this. We don't. It could have impact. We shall see. There's no real telling what that'll do. So far, it looks like I'm right. NASDAQ just broke below the order block range, confirming this. We have 32 minutes for this candle to close. I am thinking that because it just retested this on the S&P, it'll do the same thing here. We might see price rally quicker than we do on NASDAQ just because it hasn't had a chance to test this order block range, which, I mean, hasn't had a chance to. It kind of is right now. There's more of a gap between these two compared to this and this on the NASDAQ. So more consolidation until we see an actual breakout and manipulation of the high or the low, and I'm waiting for that specifically. I wish to see the hit before reacting, and so I shall wait. 31 minutes, but 2 minutes to go until market open. Let's see what happens. 9:30. Hello, market open. Yeah, close to that. Let's see if it hit. No, it didn't. Okay. There's still a gap right there. I'm gonna go back up to the hour and wait patiently. Very indecisive today, aren't we? Major difference in market. One says higher, the other says lower. I think we are going to see a reversal to the upside, but first it's got to test this right here. Well, no, because it's in the same range now. Nasdaq is breaking below this low here, creating a lower low. Bullish SMT based on lows. This is making a lower one. This is making a higher one, making this asset B the one we'd be trading. Key level hit on Nasdaq. Almost, but not quite. Key level hit on NASDAQ. Confirmed. Not getting one on that. Let's go to the 5 minutes, see what's happening there. We have a fair value gap, break structure. We want to wait within this for it to do its thing. Same situation here. Huh? I thought I marked that. Whoops. Hot dog. I'm gonna get back up to the hour. That's 8. That's 3. That's London session. That's the lowest point. Outside of this right here, these are relative equal lows. I'm not marking those though because of that. Okay. I know what I did now. That's why it looks different. Because I didn't mark it because I counted this as literally the same low within the same session. Market, pre-market had a low, but I didn't count that. So we hit this low here. We have a fair value gap, sure, but I want to see price come back up and retest this. I want to see more confluences before I just go in and enter. Going off a pre-market, we had to move up, sure. It did manipulate a high instead. It gave us a high. And then from here, we had consolidation, break of structure, massive fair value gap. And this could change and actually invert this. we can get an inverse for value gap right here. That's confluence number 1. I gotta remember at 10 news hits, so that's also a factor. That was fair value gap at wick past filled orders, potential close within respect, and then continue higher based on that. Order block. Not order block. What is this on the hour? Yeah, order block. Close within, potential move up higher. No key level hit though on the S&P. Key level hit on this. Breaker block. Continuation of this break of structure. You're going to present a break of structure first. You've broke beyond that. That's also a thing. Let's see what happens. We have 5 minutes for that candle to close. What I think is going to happen, we're going to get a break of structure on this. That break of structure is going to be the thing. We'll have a fair value gap. I think we're going to be good for a trade on this. I think we are on S&P. Why? Because we got a fair value gap first. That's the first confluence. Is inverse fair value gap on this right here. It's not an inverse fair value gap though. It's just a fair value gap. Fair value gap sign of continuation. Did we get a break of structure? Did we get? We got a break of structure on market open. We got a fair value gap there. We just need a closure. 3 minutes. The continuation is up. Higher. Do we think it's going to continue lower? I think it's going to go higher. Both are saying it's going to continue higher. They retested an order block. Higher seems to be the notion. Break of structure. Breaker block. Let's go to the 1 minute. I almost want to sit on news. Almost. This might be a news entry. I don't know. If we get an inverse for value gap or a break of structure on the 1 minute, I'm going based off of previous confluences being hit. The order block turned to breaker block now. Retest of an order block outside of that range, and then from there, the continuation higher. We have an inverse for value gap going high. And we broke structure on the 1 minute to the highest side. I'm looking for something that's giving me the confluence for moving beyond this range here, because we're still consolidating on the S&P without key level hit. We hit, I think, the high. Did we hit the high? Let me see. We came dang close to it, though. Made that there. No inverse. It respected the fair value gap. Which means we could see it continue lower. We're not going to get a break of structure there. And this is following suit to this. The highs are different. Nasdaq's creating a lower high while the S&P creates a higher high. So from here, it's based on this. Lower high. This is the leading index between the two that we'd be trading for the bearish reversal. I think it'll be a news entry. I think it will be. Sorry about that. My phone just fell. We have 7 minutes for news to hit. Two folders at the same time. Lower high is the one I'd be wanting to take a trade on in this case. It'd be a bearish divergence that I've been looking at. Bearish reversal. Cool. Did we get a break of structure? No. We have respective fair value gap, and it's just continuing to tank. That looked like news just hit. Did it? Not yet. Not yet. We shall see, though, in a moment. For value gap. I need to restrain myself here. This fair value gap started to be enticing, but then I realized this is not done and closed yet, so we have to wait. We have this much time remaining for news to come out, and if I'm not patient enough, that will come back to bite me. Bearish reversal in the English language. Bearish means it's going down, in my opinion, from my understanding. Reversal means in the opposite direction, meaning we should see a move up that reverses the downtrend. I'm thinking on news we'll see it happen. Three minutes for it to occur. Let's see what happens. That range would be the new order block that would need to retest, move up, check, move down. That order block starts here for reference sake. We got a break of structure. If this can come back up, this would be considered a retest, sure, but break block, retest, enter, move down. News might push it further down. We have 2 minutes for that to really watch what it does. If it breaks structure, it'll continue higher. If it doesn't and retests the order block without breaking, it could continue lower. Higher time frame holds higher power in this case. Let me go to the 1 minute and see what's happening. Or not 1 minute, 1 hour. Same situation, break of structure, order block here. We have a minute for this to close. Disrespect this order block, continue lower potentially. I think that's what might happen. It can come up, wick within, close below, drop lower. S&P is very choppy. We finally had a hit here. Highs are a bit different. I'm still inclined to trade on the NASDAQ today. Got fairly close. Here's news. Why do I get a feeling we're going to hit a consolidation pattern? Again. So greater than forecast, good for currency. It was greater than forecast, 7.23 versus 7.19. This was lesser though. Bad for currency. More of the same. We wicked within. We might close within and then continue to drop. Price is still below this. We could see it continue to bear run. I am inclined. Okay, so retest breaker block on the higher time frame. What break of structure do we have? What says SMT? SMT says it. Bearish divergence. If no SMT, what else? Not an inverse value gap, not a break of structure. 75% extension. Unless we get a break of structure based on news, and then from that, we start hunting down the rest of the confluences. Because right now it's based on S&T that price is going to go higher. Bearish divergence. Bearish reversal, sorry. So continuation higher. Outside of that, breaker block for higher time frame is what I'm seeing. And until it closes below or closes within the breaker block and then reverses lower, we won't know. If we get a break of structure, it's just going to consolidate even choppier. Going higher, it would need the rest of the confluences in the up direction after breaking structure. Breaks of structure I have no problem with hunting down, but there becomes a problem. If it closes within the higher time frames order block, becoming more so of a breaker block, just a retest of that range, it kind of invalidates the downtrend, which I'm all for, but I want to see the rest of my confluences before I enter. We have 2 minutes for this to close. Looks like S&P is taking the lead on the break of structure. We just went beyond the high. We have a minute 50 to go. This will give us break of structure and a fair value gap to boot. We did an inverse of fair value gap. I don't think that would be a 75% extension. Wouldn't be equilibrium, wouldn't be breaker block, wouldn't be order block. Fair value gap is all we have to go on with this break of structure. And the fair value gap is a continuation confluence confirming the reversal. One minute for that closure. This is still the news candle, just so we're on the same page. We are still, this is the news candle. We have not seen the reaction from news, and so I intend to wait. Closed within. Retest. Breaker block. I think it's continuing lower. I'm going to enter in on the NASDAQ. I'm going to edit this position. My stop loss on the 5 minute is going to be placed here within that range. My final take profit, the one I think is going to get hit last, it's going to be down here. I entered this trade based off of bearish divergence, SMT, and then a retest of a high time frame breaker block, or order block, sorry. Let's go to the hour real quick and let's just take a look. So we were in a consolidation. We did not manipulate the high first, instead we manipulated the low. Okay? Got a huge wick and all, manipulated the low. Cool. We didn't go to the 30 minute, we went to the 5, but to reiterate what I was watching, what I was looking for, we noticed the break of structure on the 30 minute and noticed that this was in fact in order block range. We waited for price to come back up within, test, close, and then drop. That's essentially what we did on the 5. 5 minute came up, tested this line here, which was the bottom of our order block, making this into a breaker block, double test. Once it tests that a second time, it closed and dropped. As it dropped, we're looking for it to continue lower. The idea is that price, after this consolidation to the low side of this range, is going to continue lower. That is my logic behind it. That's my thought process behind it. I do think it's going to continue lower. If it does continue lower, yay. I mean, it works. We have relative equal lows here that we could take profit from. 1, 2 here, 3 the top of this high time frame. I believe this is a fair value gap. Yep, this is a fair value gap. So this right here is the high time frame for value gap that we're after. We also broke structure on the 4 hour. We broke structure on the 1 hour, or we're about to close below low. 1 hour break of structure, we're going down. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and 5 minute are aligned in a downtrend. I think we're going to continue lower. And so I'm entering on a short. We're on the 5 minute right now. Let me see. Because we have these lows here that we could target. Okay. We have this entire range we could target here. Cool. Target that. I'm going to target this. We have that there we could target. My final take profits down here. From this low down, we have a fair value gap we could target within this. The fair value gap's top lines up almost perfectly with the low here. I'm entirely inclined to wait for that to get hit before I scale out. This right here is the only other low beyond that, and this is the low beyond that. My take profit, final take profit, is sitting just below that range. I do think we can hit it today. I'm entirely inclined to wait. We're on the NASDAQ, and I am confident in this trade. I almost want to put my stop loss above this just to give me a little bit better risk to reward, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and the only reason I'm moving it above this is so it has breathing room. If it wants to come back up, it can retest. I'm going to confirm that. Lock that in. I'm not going to touch it again. I am going to pause the video. We're in a downtrend, and we have take profits to hit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 take profits. By the time this right here gets hit, let's find a key level within this that we can really hone in on. Perfect right there. Let's go ahead and put a line here. At this point, at this line right here, we're going to mark this with a green. This is our halfway mark. We're going to take 0.5. Okay. If we get to that green line, we'll have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 0.05 off of the position. And we'll wait for it to continue lower. Okay? Okay. We don't care about this because it's already been swept past. This is our first take profit. That's what I'm going to be waiting on. Plain and simple. Okay? Okay. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give me a like. There's a thumbs up button down below. Check out the links above. Each one gets content on the regular, at least up to this point it did. Things will be changing here soon. I intend on going through all of my videos and honing in on literally everything. Just outright putting shorts, mistakes, lessons, going the whole 9 yards with the content I've posted up to this point. I do want to continue recording videos, and when I do, they'll be incredibly short. Like, I might start a video, here's my strategy, here's what I think is going to happen from here, let's do this, knock it out of the ballpark, and pause when I enter, unpause right before I exit, the whole 9 yards. I intend on making these videos much, 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 much shorter. And then from those onward, making shorts out of it. And just honing in on the specific mistakes I made during a video, the specific successes I made during a video, the whole 9 yards. I intend on really breaking down each one of the videos I've made so far, highlighting the mistakes and lessons I've learned along the way. And hopefully, by the end of this video, we'll have completely reversed the negatives of this month and be in the positive, and we'll have passed the demo account. If you're interested in checking out the lives, go to Orb's Vault. That YouTube literally hosts all of the VODs I record personally on my device, so that way you guys have a visual as to what I'm doing throughout the day. Orb Plus is unique. I'm not doing lives for Orb Plus. It's just recordings and shorts and stuff. When I do wind up getting to lives on Orb Plus, it'll be later on, like next year, year after, or something like that, when I'm more comfortable doing so. I intend on doing a lot with that, and it'll be varied, just like the videos are. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and I'm really looking forward to it. Really, really, really looking forward to it. Again, when I start getting more comfortable, you'll see more content getting posted, more of literally everything getting posted. I plan on prioritizing shorts here in the next couple of months. I want to drop making videos almost, just to focus on shorts and to really hone in editing skills throughout small time frames, so that way working on larger time frame videos, it kind of works out in my favor. I can legit go about my day, have short stuff every now and then when I get comfortable enough to make a video, you get a video. It's a long video, and there's plenty to see. If you're interested in that kind of thing, go check out those names up above. They'll get content as time moves along. And if you're interested in following, subscribing, coming back for more, there's always that button down below saying subscribe, follow. And if you're on TikTok watching this, because I do intend on making shorts, go to the right hand side. You see that little plus icon with a little cat, I think it is, the white cat doing a split. Yeah, hit that plus icon. That tells me you want more content and are willing to come back and watch it. If you want to come back and watch it, it'll notify you unless you turn your notifications off, which I don't blame you. I hate the way it dings on your phone. Like, it'll sit there and just keep pinging you over and over until it finally gets your attention. I don't blame you for turning those off. But if you're interested, it'll notify you when I post something, right? And then from that, you get the content I made. And there's going to be a lot. I'm going to be posting a whole lot in the coming months, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's it. Hopefully this trade pans out in our favor, in my favor. I think I did pretty well identifying each of the confluences needed to enter today's trade. I understand the risk I am taking. I understand the potential trend it could go in if it decides it wants to reverse. Looking at it about to reverse via inverse for value app. But I'm confident. I think we're good. I'm just going to wait for it to do its thing. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to wait patiently. I'm going to pause the video so that way it's a little bit shorter. I know we've already been recording for like 2 hours, almost 3 hours now. So I'm going to pause now. We've entered today's trade. We're in a short. We think it's going to go much, much lower, and so that's what we're going to wait on, is for it to go much, much lower. Yeah, I'm confident in today's trade. BRB. We got stopped out. I'm pretty sure it was by spread, too. Yep, by spread. Big oof. This hurts to look at. I'm gonna be absolutely honest. The account I started at $20. I have ended at $29.37. I have managed my losses. I have managed a lot. Today was no different than most other days. I'm at a break-even point. The past 7 months has been me learning my strategy, honing it, trying to get it to a fine point. I've been sticking to a time frame that I'm not entirely comfortable with. I'm not gonna lie. Let me refresh this because I don't know why it's acting the way it is. It's not showing where the end candle is. There it is, right there. I knew the trend was in the up direction. I knew price could easily sweep out the highs. I knew it could do things. I knew it. Based on the confluences I had during the time frame, my honest thought was that price was going to go lower, and we even checked it on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, the 30-minute. Every single time frame lined up with the bias. Price is going lower. We traded based off an SMT, a fair value gap, and even on the 1 minute, a break of structure back to the downside. I waited for every confluence, and my idea was still wrong. Okay, there's always tomorrow. The account's still in the positive. I haven't gone in the negative. I'm going to count the past 3 months as a win, as a pass. Against my better judgment, I do think I can make this into a profitable thing. I do think I can make this profitable. It's just going to take a little bit more time studying. It's going to take a little bit more time learning. I've got a little bit I can work with. I've found an article that's full of useful information I intend to use for future trading endeavors. Today is September 30th, 2025. And I'm going to say I passed my 3-month demo account challenge. I did so well, I managed to stay in the positive. $10 in the positive. I did better than I did the past 3 months before. I intend on doing better 3 months into the future. I know how to save money. I know how to cut losses. And I know how to take my winners. The psychology is down. I have that to a fine tune. And I'm human. I know I can make those mistakes later on. Have that ego. And I know how to kill that ego to be a better trader. What I experienced today may as well have been a stop hunt. Okay. Where do I go forward from here? Well, I had a plan set in motion. If I pass 3 months, I will take that 3 months and pay it forward. I'm going to look for every single mistake and every single lesson I've learned in every video, and I'm going to put it up as a short so it can reach even more people across different platforms. This way, you get the best of both worlds. And ultimately, I have short form content that I or others can look back on and see the mistakes I made, so you don't make the same ones. I have enjoyed the past 7 months. And if you watched any of the stream Friday, if you're going to watch the stream tomorrow, please note that everything's going to change for better or worse. For starters, I'm going to get a 9 to 5 and bust my tail saving up money to do this. I think I can get it to work. I think I can be profitable at it. I think I can be really good at it. I really, really do. that being said, the sky's the limit. I intend on getting better at editing videos. You're going to see that here soon as well. I intend on going through each and every single one of the videos I've recorded, shortening them up, getting them super, super short, super, super compact. I'll label them as revisited. I'll have a revisited playlist, so that way it's fairly easy for you to get to. My confidence in being able to trade is shaky at best. But I know my exit strategies. I know my entrances. I know the psychology behind it. I know what I need to look into in order to better grasp market movements, trading one way or the other, really honing that skill in. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave a comment. Subscribe if you're new on the comeback. If you're watching this on other platforms, please know that I've gone under many changes the past 7 months. And ultimately, I do think I have improved as a person and as a professional workman. Shoot, I've even improved as a gamer. I intend on getting better in many different fields, different hobbies, different skills. Stay tuned for that. Check out all the names above, the links below. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me on these past 7 months. I really, really do appreciate it. My next video on this channel is going to be different. It's going to be less, I'm interested in doing this or this. I'm more interested in back testing strategies. I want to find another strategy that works for me. One that I can implement a little bit better than this one. But before I do that, I'm going to learn, I'm going to edit, I'm going to post. I'm going to keep revisiting. And hopefully, at the end of that time frame, I'll have what it takes to take a trade confidently, so confidently. The logic behind it is so sound that it'll more than likely be a winner. My win rate will go up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys this Wednesday on Orb's Vault. Check it out above on YouTube. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.